Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Let's get this Gunnera ready for winter. Well, it's the middle of November and I'm going to get my Gunnera ready for winter. Now, the Gunnera that I've got is Gunnera Tinctoria. It's a smaller growing and I do believe it's hardier than the larger Gunnera Manicata, also known as Gunnera cryptica. One of the easy ways to tell the difference is the shape of the flower spikes. These are a lot more compact than the larger one. But essentially, preparing your Gunnera for winter is very straightforward. The first thing I'm going to do is cut all the leaves off. So let's get on with that now. Yeah, so it's a pretty straightforward job, really. We'll just take these off here. I'm just using a pair of kitchen scissors. Because I can't find my secateurs, helpfully. And I'm just going to take all of these off. Yep, that's it. You can begin to see, really, the part of the plant that we're trying to protect here, which is this big, sort of prehistoric looking rhizome, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to move all of these big leaf stalks and leaves out of the way, but hang on to these for the next step. So I've taken all the leaves off, and you can see here this is a rhizome. This is the bit that we're trying to protect over winter. Now, from my experience, especially the smaller Tinctoria plants, I think they can take a light frost without too much damage. And you can see it's sort of a mildish autumn, and you can see it's still pushing out. I mean, these are tiny for a Gunnera, but it's still pushing out new growth. Now, that's not going to be much of a problem really over winter. You get a better look at the flower spike there as well. So these sort of individual inflorescences, I guess, not sure the correct term, but they're a lot fatter and closer together on the Tinctoria, and the Gunnera is a lot looser, a lot longer and thinner and sort of curved around there. But yeah, so this is the bit that we're trying to protect, and each one of these is a different growth point, where in the spring the new growth will come out from around this centre, and you could divide it actually. The first part, the oldest part, I think, is this part here. Was my the plant that I planted. It was in a tiny 2-litre pot, and since I planted it, it's sort of grown outwards. It's sort of grown in this direction, and then we've got all of these new growth points growing in that direction, but it kind of spreads out in a linear way, really. So yeah, I've taken all the leaves off. I don't have many left actually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to separate the stalk or the stem from the leaf, and I'm going to use them in different ways. So I'll get on with that one next. So now the only thing left to do really is to start covering that plant with these last year's leaves. So I'm going to start with the smaller ones, and I'm just going to lay them on top. Some of them are already starting to decompose, which is fine, and that will happen to the rest of it over winter. But once I've piled all these on top, I am going to use the larger ones to finish it off. So I'm just going to arrange these sort of almost in a teepee, and let the winter rain and cold and wet sort of drip down there. And then with these remaining stems here, some people like to pierce the leaves to hold them in place. I'm lucky that I'm in quite a shelter position here. It's up against the fence, so I'm not too worried about these leaves blowing away. So what I will do is I'll just sort of balance them, adding weight. Maybe I'll put that one there. There we go. So, there's another one there. So there we go. that's my Gunnera Tinctoria prepared for winter. Now, this is all you need to do. You can leave this until it comes to maybe March or April. As soon as the weather starts warming up in spring, this will all have been degraded and decomposed, and it'll be sort of a brown mush, and then you'll just suddenly start seeing the whole structure sort of flattened but raising up as the new growth comes up. And then I think the most critical point of the year for a Gunnera, which pushes out its biggest leaves first, is to protect the first few leaves from any late frosts. But I'm just going to leave this now until you know the frosts are gone in probably April here. So that's it. How to overwinter a Gunnera Tinctoria, or a Gunnera Manicata, or a Gunnera cryptica if you want to call it that. Thanks for watching, and do consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's useful for you. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Cheers.